Just a quick little update. I am in the middle of a trade, you guys. So if you take a look here, I am up 10% on my BNB short, and I'm going to be going over that and more. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm your host Jitsuko Toshiro, bringing you all the latest cryptocurrency updates. Today we're going to talk about all of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency alts, but before we get started, you guys remember I'm doing a giveaway. We are 12 subscribers away from that goal of 100. Thank you to every single one of you. I appreciate you guys all. Let's go ahead and get started. So take a look at Bitcoin. Right now, the price of Bitcoin is trading at 22,500. I did warn you guys that there is a rounding top type of formation, and unfortunately, these tend to break to the downside, kind of like how we saw one down here. Price action sometimes is the best way to look at things, because if you look down here, it's pretty much the same thing in reverse. So we had this nice little rounding bottom, and then it eventually broke out to the upside, and then we started rounding up on this top, and now we're going to get a retest of these lows down here of this 20,600 level and this 21,400. It does look like everything is holding really well. If we do end up breaking down, the bottom keeps getting bought up. I do expect this to break past this 24,000 level and then eventually breaking up to this 30,000 level. So I do expect retest, and if the retest is bullish, I expect us to smash through this resistance. So keep that in mind if you're in any type of short, that it's a potential reverses on you. Now, another thing I would like to point out to you guys is one of my favorite ones is the 50 and 200 day EMAs, and we have something beautiful coming up that looks interesting. So if you look here, you can see that on the daily that they did cross, and it's a bullish type of crossover. So this is going to be very interesting to see if we come down and retest these levels of this EMA. Sometimes what happens with these bullish crossovers is you get a kind of like a lagging effect, especially in a bear market. They can fake you out. So we saw a crossover here back in 2019. We broke down, we crossed over, it looked like a bullish crossover, and then it eventually failed. And that tends to happen. So you get a lot of fake outs on these golden crosses. I see this golden cross going everywhere, all over Twitter, but I wanted to warn you guys that they're good if you do have a capitulation event and then you move forward. So like, for example, we had a capitulation event here, and then we crossed over, then we had a 400% run. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like that's the case. So right now, we didn't have a capitulation event. We didn't have a massive move to the downside. We just had a slow little downtrend all the way down, respecting this 50 EMA. We finally retested 200. I think we overbroke it. And so that's why we got that crossover. This is a lagging indicator. When we come down to test it, we might stagnate a little bit here at this 20,000 level and then break down, and then we'll see the bottom. So right now, I'd say be a little patient, you guys. I understand that a lot of people are really excited, especially with the golden cross, but sometimes they can fake you out. And I think this might be a fake out, unfortunately. And I'm warning you guys here first, because I care about your trades, unlike other people that are just full on euphoric. This isn't the case sometimes. The last thing I'd like to point out is the relative strength index. It's finally playing through with that bearish divergence. Another thing to be warned about. So now we're entering the neutral zone of the relative strength index. So we might see a little bit more of selling off, but not too much. We might not see that sell off that we wanted to see, and we might continue the rally. So I'm keeping an open mind that if we do hold the support at 20,000. So I do expect a retest of this level here. If we do hold this level on the daily candles, I do expect us to actually come back up, retest 24, even come up to 25, 26,000, and see what happens from there. I'm keeping an open mind. I hope you guys are too. I am a macro bear. One thing I know for sure is we have this rounding top. We are headed lower in the immediate short term. And if you look at the 4-hour candles, it's the same thing I mentioned before. We have this nice little rounding top. We're going to test this breakout level here. So keep that in mind. 21,000 is the key area of support. Then you judge your trades off of that. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum's kind of the same thing. We have this rising ascending channel, and I mentioned that these are nice to trade until they break down or up. And right now it looks like it's going to break down, and the target would be this support at this 1500 level. And then if it breaks past that 1500 level, then I would expect this to come all the way down to this 1300 level. But you can see that it had a rising nice ascending channel. I made a video about this ascending channel and how to trade it. You basically short the tops and long the bottoms. but if it has more than 4 touch points, it becomes weak. So we have 1, 2, 3, and about to have 4 touch points. This fourth touch point can be the breakdown of the ascending channel, kind of like how we had it here. We had 1, 2, 3, and then we didn't even get a fourth one. I believe if it was enough strength, we would have broke out to the upside, but we didn't see that with Ethereum. We actually saw it break down. So this, I'm looking for that fourth touch point. If we get there, I do expect this to break down, come back all the way down to this 1300 level, and then retest this 1200 level, and then we see what happens from there. Obviously, Bitcoin dictates where the alts go, but it's just good to know that sometimes Ethereum likes to do its own thing, hold support a little bit better. Now let's look at BNB. This is the master chart that I have posted on Twitter, and I basically posted this rounding top and this ascending support, and it finally broke down. And I was telling everyone that BNB is at crossroads at a very key resistance that I don't think it can pass up. So I thought might as well enter a short. So this is my short trade. Let me show you guys on the daily time frame what I saw. In case you're new to the channel, this is the beauty of charting. So take a look at this. We have this beautiful 1 year resistance that BNB came up to basically test, couldn't quite get there, got rejected right before it got there. So I entered my short actually a little bit early, which I like to do because I don't want to miss a trade. And you can see that we have 2 touch points, right? It's not perfect, but it's the idea behind it, right? We have this horizontal resistance, then we have that year-long resistance as well. This is a key area of shorting, good area to short, and as you can see, we are dipping in price. I'm up 10% on this trade. I am taking it all the way down to these lows right here, the support, which is basically the $250 mark target. Now, the question is, how low can I take this? So I do have my take profits at $40. I mentioned earlier on the ascending channel that if you have more than 4 touch points, the support or the resistance you're looking at is getting weaker. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 touch points on the support. If you're going to talk about manipulation, I see it right here. The price wants to go down. Eventually, it's going to come back down, retest these lows, and it's going to retest them very hard. Then you have a lot of hot air all the way down to $40 USD, where we have a very strong area of support. And this is where I'm going to put all that money back into BNB and long it, because I think BNB is actually a really strong exchange. Unless it goes insolvent, that's a different story. So I'm going to keep updated with the actual company, but I don't expect us to break out of this resistance. I do expect us to touch this support one more time at this $200 level, and then I expect a massive play. And we're going to see what happens there, okay? So I'm going to be a little bit patient with BNB. And then last but not least, Solana. Let me pull up the master chart that everyone loves. And I haven't moved any of these lines. I'm telling you guys, this is insane. So it looks exactly as I left it. And I mentioned that we have that retest of the breakdown of the head and shoulders. And now we're coming back down to basically these levels again. I do expect this to come back down to this level of $7 to $8 on Solana and see if it holds. It is a strong area of support. I don't expect it to break down, but if it does, we're going to go all the way down to this $4 level. It's a very interesting time in crypto because right now Bitcoin's at crossroads. If that 21,000 level doesn't hold for Bitcoin, I expect everything else to crash a lot harder, especially because they're overbought. Last and not least, this is for the stock lovers, the spider. So the spider is coming back down. It's going to retest that breakout area. I was wrong about something. Obviously, I thought we wouldn't break out of this resistance. But one of the things I said was 4 touch points is a very weak, makes the trend very weak. So we did break up. We broke out. It could be a fluke. We come back down and we continue the trend all the way down. I do expect the spider to come all the way down to the COVID lows. That's going to be a key area of buying. Last but not least, the DXY is looking amazing. Right now, the DXY broke out of its support. And you have these strong daily candles basically consolidating. It's trying to break out of this descending channel. Look at this. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 touch points. It's at crossroads of trying to break up and out. And if the DXY does break out, obviously all the other assets will crash. Ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap it up today. If you guys like this content, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am 12 subscribers away from the 100 total, and that will give away $100 in USDT. Next up, my Twitter. If you guys like this content, please subscribe to my Twitter. I give you guys real-time updates about things that happen in my life and, the crypto charts. Last but not least, here's a little update on my trade. I do practice what I preach. I am up 11% on my trade. If you guys like this content, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you. Have a freaking good day.